The Red vs. Blue universe is jam-packed with a whole bunch of different characters. Some human, some AI, and others alien. I'm here to give you the history of these characters. Today we are going to be discussing the metaphorical bomb that started everything. Sorry Andy, not you. Allison Church. As far back as we can trace Allison's story is long ago in the days of basic training. These events take place at an undetermined amount of time before the Great War ever started. As told in the Red vs. Blue Ultimate Fan Guide story, Leonard and Allison, at some point Allison enlisted into the UNSC to become a Marine. One day during basic training, she saw two privates fighting each other. Or should I say one private pounding another helpless private into the ground for insulting him. Allison intervenes into the fight, punching the one known as Delaney, easily overpowering the brute, and the helpless one introduces himself as Leonard Church. Delaney tries once again to fight Allison, but this time she does what would become an all too familiar kick to the groin before flattening him out on the cement. As she leaves, Leonard asks her for her name, which she indulges and introduces herself as Allison. As she gets lost into the sea of recruits, Leonard would actively chase after her, as it was love at first sight. At some point, the two do end up getting together. They form a relationship, fall in love, and eventually get married to one another. Allison at some point would end up getting pregnant, and in the year 2523, she gives birth to her daughter, Carolina. Still don't think that's her name. 2 years later, in the year 2525, the Great War would begin. Allison, still being a Marine in the UNSC, would be sent to fight in this war. Prior to her deployment, Leonard records a video to remember her by until she returns.
Stop it. You're gonna make me late. They're waiting for me. Leonard, come on. I have to go. Don't make me hurt you. And don't worry. You'll see me again. I hate goodbyes.
Though it is uncertain when exactly Allison was sent for deployment, she would take part in fighting within the war for some time. And in the year 2529, 4 years into the Great War, and 6 years after Carolina's birth, Allison Church would die in the war, inadvertently acting as the catalyst that Red vs. Blue would branch from. She's often not a very mentioned character. One of the only times she's been directly referred to is by Epsilon in Season 12, implying that Allison had a bit of a temper.
Well, she definitely takes after her mother.
Was her mother some sort of silverback gorilla on steroids?
Yeah, you better be happy her mother's not around to hear you say that.
As we all know, Agent Tex is the memory of her, but that's a different character for a different time. As for Allison, her story was very simple. A woman who fell in love and died in war. Not one that you'd consider very unique, but one that had a colossal impact on so many. So that was the history and story of Allison Church. She's definitely one of my favorites easily, and I love how simple yet monumental her life was. But if there's any other characters you'd like to know the history and story of, be sure to let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.
Don't say goodbye. I hate goodbyes.